Okay, guys. So, like I was saying, this is gonna be this is gonna be a different live stream than usual. There's not gonna be battles for today, just discussion, and we are going to discuss the Voyager Cup. This cup was announced a few days ago. Like I've done with Toxic Cup last month, I've decided to invite some trainers, trainers from Portugal, to join us and take a look at the meta. What are the best picks? We are going to run every generation and see what picks are worth for to build a team with or not. But so I invited Malipi, that is already a known name in the chat, and Ricardo. It's a top trainer in Portugal. Both are ace trainers now, and yeah, I think I will let them introduce themselves. I can start with Malipi.
Well, I'm pretty sure most of you already know me. I'm also an ace trainer. I really like theory crafting, and I think this cup is probably one of the best cups that you can show how good you can be building a team. This cup has a lot of flexibility and also a lot of restrictions, which I actually really enjoy that, and it's going to be really fun because a lot of teams will have a lot of holes. I think that's the main point that I want to say right now.
Okay, so and tell us the chat what I don't know if you already have practiced the cup, but mainly what is your progress now in PvP in general on Silph? Tell us how is your progress in Silph, in GBL, just to make people know something more about you guys.
Well, I'm an ace trainer since the Rose Cup. I swept a remote tournament 6-0 on the Rose Cup, and
nice.
I was able to reach ace trainer.
Okay.
I still haven't done my weighted cup this month, but it's a work in progress. About the Go Battle League, I'm at the moment at 2760 points, I think, which is not amazing, and I would say it is also not bad. Hopefully I can get rank 10 at least before or in the Ultra League. And yeah, I think that's it. That's pretty much me. And my favorite Pokemon is probably Hunter.
Okay. I forgot to ask that one. Okay. So same for you, Ricardo. Thanks, Malipi.
Yes. I can start for my favorite Pokemon, that is Haunter 2.
Yeah. I think we are actually in this moment loving Haunter, especially in GB. Yeah. Okay,
I think I love it since I battled with you in the finals in Porto.
Yeah.
In the Sinister Cup.
Yeah.
When I meet you.
Yeah, I lost to a Haunter, so I decided, okay,
yeah.
Haunter is definitely good.
Yes, it is. He can beat an whole team.
Yeah,
right. In the right circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, about me, I'm ace trainer. I don't know about. I think from not the last month, but the other cup. I don't remember the name.
Okay.
What was before Rose Cup?
I think it was a Fusion.
Fusion, yes, exactly.
Fusion. Yeah, you swept 6-0 and you got ace trainer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I get one of the best players in our remote community.
Yeah.
Yellow Reaper. I don't know if he is in the chat or no. But...
Yellow Reaper came out.
About GBL, at least I have not been with a lot of lag, like Malipi.
Okay, that's a good start.
But today I lost a lot of points.
Okay.
Bad matches, bad leads, but I'm at 2734.
Okay.
Rank 9, okay, not bad. Once I start with the 2020, 2220.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a huge grind. Okay.
Yeah. But yes, I play PvP since the beginning. I start in the first group of Go Stadium. That.
So that was your first tournament. Go Stadium. Okay.
Yes, the first group of Go Stadium. The first 20 persons in Go Stadium.
Oh, that's great. That's cool. That's a cool fact. Okay.
Yeah. I was in the group one. Now they are 9,000, I think.
Oh, we have
Or-
Johnny. We have Johnny in the chat. He's also a moderator from Go Stadium. Johnny, take a look. We have
Oh,
one of the first
one of the first 20, I think.
at Go Stadium.
Meeting
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Good to know.
with the torpedo runner. And my focus on Pokemon is only PvP now.
Yeah,
Not
I
more
think
shiny, not more
yeah,
anything of that.
I think everyone now is only looking at the PvP since we have to stay at home, so there's not much
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And let's talk about the Voyager.
Yeah, let's go for Voyage. So I will try to read the rules very quickly, just for anyone that hasn't looked at them already. So the cup, it's how can I start with this? So you got to do a team of 6, of course. Great League. You have to set your 5 picks are dependent on each generation your Pokemon is from. So you have to pick one Pokemon, and that's and this is open at for now. So you have to pick a Pokemon from Kanto, one Pokemon from Johto, one Pokemon from Owen, one from Sinnoh, and one from Unova, Alolan, Galar, or others. That and the others I think only include Melton by now, because I think
Metal.
yeah, Melton and Melmetal. So these first 5 slots, this first 5 slots of generations has no restrictions or bans. So you and in your final slot you have to pick what Silph called a wild card, and you can pick a wild card, but the follow list that I'm gonna read, you can't pick from that list basically. That's why on PvPoke there are a few yellow Pokemon with a yellow label. That's the reason they are like that. So the Pokemon that you cannot pick for the 6th spot are Ivysaur, Venusaur, Hypno, Lapras, Dewgong, Wigglytuff, Mew, Azumarill, Skarmory, Umbreon, Registeel, Altaria, Deoxys, Swampert, Tropius, Medicham, Gardevoir, Whiscash, Bastiodon, Probopass, Cresselia, Togekiss, Zweilous, Scrafty, Melmetal, Marowak, Alolan, Jellicent, Manibus, probably coming soon. I didn't even know that they are so many. Jesus.
Yeah.
Just to mention, these restrictions, these wildcard restrictions, also applies to shadow forms of this Pokemon. Otherwise, it will be insane. Okay, so okay, no duplicates. That's a common rule, and that's basically what this is. So even a short version of this. The first 5 picks consists in each generation. One pick from Kanto, one Johto, one Owen, one Sinnoh, one from Unova, Alolan, or Galar, and the last pick is a wild card with the restrictions I've said. You can check the Silph.gg /cup/Voyager. You can find all the information that you need there. So let's just start it with our analysis, and I think we can. I don't know if you have some ideas where to start. I was thinking starting going by generation, because looking at these ranks, they are exactly the same as the Open Great League rankings. So we see we see the most commons in the top: Altaria, Registeel. You're gonna see Azumarill here too, but I think it's better to start by generation here, and we can start looking into Kanto. So this is a pick that I'm very curious to talk, because it's a legacy and it's Dewgong. It's a double legacy. And I think it's gonna be a lot of play to him. So I don't know if you guys have some opinion in a pick like this, so hard to find, legacy one, demonstrates a good value in this cup.
So a lot of persons are using it on GBL.
Yeah, I found that too.
But I don't have the legacy one, so I'm out of it.
I mean, in my opinion, Dugong is just annoying.
Yes.
I mean, he's not that strong. He literally exists just to make your life miserable. Right. It's just really annoying. Example, today I faced a guy that was using Mantine, Azumarill, and Dugong. And he was lucky because I didn't have like... but like, the matchup was so annoying. He legit just debuffed everything all the time. And I don't know, I don't think he has room. I mean, I can totally see people running it, but since you can see that your opponent is running Dugong, I think you can be much more prepared instead of going blind. That's the main focus, because in Go Battle League it works really well, especially if you can if you catch a good matchup, you force a switch, you can debuff the switch in, and then you can swap out, and that's usually just a huge win for you.
Yeah, I have to agree with you in that.
When you can see the Pokemon, I don't see it being that overpowered.
Yes, I have to agree, and that's the thing that most Dugong users on GBL have been talking about that on Twitter, and in Reddit, and that is Dugong is is strong in GBL because you can't predict him. He's a rare pick because not anyone has it, and you are not expecting it at all. So he can beat Azumarill. That's a fact, and it can catch some other things in the lead that you don't want to. You can debuff and switch to another thing and make your opponent lose the switch because you don't want to be debuffed. But that's a good way, because if you saw that your opponent has Dugong, you're gonna have to play differently probably, and that's the thing. And the point is one of the wild cards, so you have to be careful in choosing Dugong, because you're gonna miss another huge Pokemons that I can see here on Kanto. And we have here one of the best, if not the best, grass type user, Venusaur, in this slot. I think a lot of people are gonna bring Venusaur.
For sure.
I don't know how much a fighter can take a place, but we have some picks here like Machamp and Primeape. I think probably we're gonna see it in other regions, like Toxicroak is gonna probably have a good paper here.
Yeah. I actually wanted to talk about that, but especially the grass types. Because if you don't pick Venusaur in Kanto, which grass type are you gonna pick? Because I
can tell you when you can pick.
In Johto, at least, I'm pretty sure almost everyone is gonna pick Azumarill because he's just borderline broken. He's overpowered. Azumarill is probably the best Pokemon, the most versatile Pokemon in Open Great League, in my opinion.
Yeah. That's I think probably 90% are gonna pick Azumarill as from Johto.
Maybe someone will pick Umbreon.
Yeah, you can see some
to counter Haunter.
But I think,
or maybe Meganium.
But I
think
but
Meganium you can.
Yeah.
You can pick in the last.
Yeah.
Spot.
You can. It's
not
the
wild card. You're right. Actually.
I want to. I see a good, interesting pick here on Kanto, that is Hypno.
Yes.
I think Hypno can have an extremely good paper here.
Can we talk about how good Hypno can be with Shadow Form and without Shadow Form?
Oh yeah. I've seen some things.
Because like I've run first, and to be honest, Shadow Hypno, in my opinion at least, is much better with double punch, like Thunder Punch and Fire Punch, instead of going for a Shadow Ball.
But you are talking about the Shadow, the Shadow version.
The Shadow version of Hypno, and it's actually really good. I actually also saw it. King IV yesterday was using it on stream.
Okay.
And I even talked in chat with the FP sticks, and like I think everyone kind of agreed that the damage boost that you get is actually so high that when you, for example, use a fire punch against a Registeel, you have no stab, but you still do like 40% of the HP of a Registeel, which is pretty much like a Bastiodon would do with a flamethrower. And I really like that version of Hypno. It's much more squishier, but it's super versatile.
Yeah. While I was running Registeel in GBL and found Hypnos on the lead, I'm finding a lot of Hypnos with Fire Punch and with Thunder Punch. And even the not Shadow version of Hypno deal a good amount of damage with Fire Punch too. You have to be careful playing with that against that Hypno.
Yesterday I did a tournament, a practice tournament.
Yeah.
And I faced a Shadow Hypno with Haunter in the lead.
Whoa, that's I imagine that.
But I win that game. I win that game.
How many confusions?
I think 2, 3, 3. I think that are 3. But my Haunter is a good IV1, so he can resist a little bit more, and I could do a Shadow Ball with 1 HP and kill him.
Okay.
It was a good battle.
Nice. Okay, I'm trying to look here on.
What do you think about Mew with the overheat?
I think Mew is, if Mew has the right moveset, the thing is, when you fight a Mew, I don't know about you guys, but when I found a Mew on GBL,
you always shield the first one.
but I don't like to get the Mew because imagine if the guy has a pretty poor moveset like Surf or Psyshock, I don't know, things like that, and you shield poor moves. I don't like to fight Mew, but if with Shadow Claw, Overheat, and Grass Knot, I guess I think that's the better moveset to cover Azumarill, to cover Registeel.
But that's the thing. Mew is actually so cool because you can use Mew to cover the weakness of your team, and I really like that in Mew, and it's actually really cool. Because imagine that you don't pick, for example, I don't know, an electric type or a fire type. You can also use Mew to cover that somehow. Okay. And I really like the versatility of the Pokemon, and especially the guessing game that goes through your opponent. But you just said it, both of you. Oh, I hate facing a Mew. Yeah, that's exactly why I think it's actually so good, because she can just throw your opponent off guard so easily, especially on a switch-in, like, oh god, what am I going to switch into this Mew? I always have that feeling. Have you ever got this feeling like, oh, what should I do now?
Yeah, that's true. I think most of the cases you try to finish Mew on the lead and hope for the best. Because if you, at least if you don't have, even if you have a Haunter as a switch, I don't know that matchup, but I think Haunter wins barely. I don't know. Maybe
I think he needs to have a Shadow Ball.
Yeah, but because Mew has also the Shadow Claw. But I think Haunter wins because he's stab.
You are talking about Haunter or Hypno?
Haunter. In that case.
Okay.
Even if you catch a Mew on the lead and you try to switch into Haunter, try to win that matchup.
But you have to be sure you don't have Psycho Shock.
Yeah, and that's a common move because of Altarius.
Yep, and that's the recommended move for this cup in PvPoke.
Okay.
And especially because Psyshock has stab, because Mew is a psychic Pokemon.
Yep.
Okay.
And could work as a bait too.
Yeah.
Is a fast charge, a cheap charge move.
Yeah, that's true. We are talking about Haunter, but could he have some play here?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm using Counter. I've done 3 teams of the Voyager, and it wasn't all my 3 teams. And
Okay.
I don't regret it a single bit.
He can be also a wild card pick. So
Yeah,
it was
that's
my
true.
wild card.
That's true. That's true.
in the last team that I created, I choose Hypno
As the
and
counter?
Haunter as a wild card.
Okay.
Yep, but Hypno with I'm trying with the Focus Blast and Ice Punch. Just to practice.
Did you guys see? Imagine if you don't want to choose a Zoomeril in Johto. Do you guys think that Lapras could be a similar replacement? Not that good, of course, but do you guys think that you can use Lapras to cover that spot of Azumarill?
I would say no, because she has ice subtyping instead of fairy. And for example, she will take a lot more damage from an Altaria, for example, like a lot more compared to Azumarill. And I think, but again, for example, on everyone that I faced in Voyager, I don't know why, but no one had a flyer. Everyone was using like the Azumarill Regicore or something else, but never an Altaria.
You said it.
Never.
But you said it. It's a hard choice between Registeel and Altaria.
Yes.
It's a really hard choice.
Reggie's Reggie.
Reggie's Reggie. Altaria is Altaria.
Is Dragon Breath. Altaria is Dragon Breath.
And I think Zwellos is from the Gen 4, right?
You are talking about Altaria and Reggie, but we have 2 Deoxys defense form.
And you have Deoxys, right?
Yep. You have to choose one.
We're gonna get that.
And Swampert too.
Oh man, that Gen 3 is.
Gen 3 is absolutely stacked. There's a lot of memes going around, like the meme guy holding something. Oh, why can't I choose everyone? And he's like holding like Swampert, Altaria, Registeel, the Oxys defense.
Yeah, that's a tough choice in Gen 3. So I don't know if you guys want to cover some another pick here that you found interesting in Kanto. I mean Kanto has good Pokemons, but these are the ones that have more seems to have more value. And I'm talking about Venusaur, Hypno, those guys. I think those guys are the ones that are going to be most picked here.
Yes, we are already talking for the 3rd gen, and we are still in the 1st one.
Yeah. I think we must move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a quick question before I move on.
Okay.
Do you see any potential for Primeape or Machamp instead of Toxicroak? Because I think that Toxicroak is going to be the favorite fighter, or at least the favorite counter user, because like Toxicroak is a pain in the ass to deal with. Yeah, I really hate that Pokemon.
With the same energy, you lose for Registeel.
Yeah.
In the same.
Yeah.
Imagine 1 versus 1 shield.
Yeah, I can run that here. But
Machamp and Primeape kills Registeel.
Yes, but the thing about Toxicroak, even if it can seem to be the most, so in the beginning of the cup, it seems that Toxicroak could be the most picked one, but careful, because Toxicroak, in a team of 6, is not that overpower as we see on GBL. That's a note, because Toxicroak needs careful to play, and if you are expecting Toxicroak, you can play around it. Like in GBL, if you find a Toxicroak imagine if you are in a close matchup and the last pick from your opponent is a Toxicroak, you have no shields. That's a huge scenario that you are not predicting that pick. Just like Diogong, it's not the same, of course, but just like Diogong, Toxicroak could, and I think this cup will call the attention of a lot more players that are only playing on GBL right now. and they think, okay, Toxicroak is good in GBL, so this is gonna be OP here too. It's not. It's gonna be good, of course, but it's not gonna be. Okay, I don't know if you guys know what I mean here.
I mean, I don't see a lot of Altarians in this cup, but I did see a lot of Hypnos, so I guess it does the job really well to kill the poor Toxicroak with confusions.
Oh yeah. I think Hypno is gonna be a huge pick from Kento. Even if you have to choose in Johto between a grass user or the Azumarill, I think there are other grass types that you can pick for a wild card. I don't know if Tropius is, but I think
let's move to Johto.
Yeah, I think we should move
We're
on.
taking too long in Kanto.
Yeah.
We're gonna take 2 hours in Gentry anyway,
so here we have so the top 3 are wildcards, and we have Azumarill, Skarmory, and I don't see so much attention in Skarmory just because I think people are thinking, okay, I don't have much choices. If I have to pick a flyer, probably I will pick Skarmory. I will pick Altaria, but and here Azumarill, and in Gen 2 there's Azumarill. I would rather use Azumarill instead of Skarmory. I think Skarmory is not being given so much attention right now. At least is what I feel. And also we have Umbreon that is not eligible for a wildcard too. So these are the top 3. Here, as we have more interesting picks that are, for example, one of the best grass types, Meganium. We have a few more picks like Lantern that could work as an anti-flyer, but like Malipi said, are you going to see so much flyers in the cup?
Maybe imagine Noctowl to counter Haunter, for example.
Yeah, Noctowl could make a return.
Noctowl
for
is
sure.
Very good.
Yeah,
but as wild card, sure.
Yeah, as a wild card. So
because Azumarill, Skarmory, Umbreon, one of that 3, I think, will be the more common choices.
So I don't know. We will run into your tournament in the end of the stream, just to see what what are the tendencies of people choosing. But I believe you, as a Johto option, I believe you have seen almost Azumarills, right?
Yeah, Azumarill, Skarmory, but
mainly
most of them were Azumarill.
Okay. What?
And Umbreon, one Umbreon.
You saw one Umbreon, okay.
Yep, one Umbreon, one Mantine.
I believe.
I'm watching now.
About Umbreon, I don't know if. Okay, he's a good pick. It's good. If people starting to use a lot of Hypnos, Umbreon can make a huge difference in your team to counter that one. But
Hypno and Haunter.
Haunter, yeah,
very common.
Yeah, because he's eligible for a wildcard, and that's a huge point. The thing about Umbreon is I feel that Umbreon can be very well countered. At least you're gonna have Azumarill and Registeel to deal with. Probably Melmetal. We can see Melmetals, but the fighter that we are talking about, like Toxicroak, I don't know. Umbreon seems a huge piece to deal with the psychics, but at the same time is very well countered. So I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's gonna have so much play.
Because a lot of persons will run Registeel, and
yeah, I think Registeel and the Azumarill is gonna be one of and almost
to counter Registeel, fighter one that will counter Umbreon too. So
yeah, that's true. Umbreon, if you guys are planning to run Umbreon, be careful because you're gonna have a lot of things to deal with. And I was we were talking about Meganium, but he's not a wild card.
Nope.
I'm seeing now because I was thinking that it was, but Meganium is not a wild card. So
a lot of persons in the tournament that I did yesterday was using him as wild cards.
Yeah, and I believe that these persons are using Hypno as a counter choice.
Some of them.
Okay. So yeah, so Meganium is
just one thing, like for the people in chat that don't know, the big difference between Meganium and Venusaur is that Venusaur can have Sludge Bomb and pretty much kill every other grass type. The difference with Meganium is that she has Earthquake, which is really good to take down, for example, Registeel. And it's a lot tankier, so she can survive easily when Ice Beam from Azumarill, for example.
Yeah.
They're really different picks, even though they kind of do the same role. They can coverage different stuff for your team.
I think Venusaur as a pure grass can be is the best grass type, but we can't forget about Tropius with the flying build. With
one more to talk in the next
Gentry is gonna be fun. We're gonna stay here all night. Okay, so I've seen some people in the chat that like Skarmory are talking.
Skarmory is a perfect grass killer.
Yeah, that one is also good. But
you have a Zoomer also.
That's a hard choice this year. But you guys are talking about Noctowl, and that's really interesting that you mentioned, because I believe some people will run it for sure. Is a very tanky Pokemon.
Yesterday I lost one game because of him. One of the rounds.
And what about
I faced counter with Noctowl 3 times in a row.
Damn it! Same story as in Fusion.
Yeah.
Against Marok. So what about? I believe Meganium will be picked a lot as a wild card because it's a grass and it's not in a wild card list. So the Johto, I think Johto is a pretty simple one. Of course, you have a few interesting picks here. You have Quagsire as a handy-flyer, running with Earthquake. We have Lantern. We have some other fighters. We have things like Steelix, things like Lugia here, but would they pair as Azumarill? I think not. I think Azumarill is a huge piece in Johto, and it's almost unquestionable for many people to what they are gonna pick in Johto section. So I think Johto can be pretty simple. I can be wrong, but I think this is gonna be one of the easiest choices for the players. So yeah, I think the most important notes here in Johto is Azumarill. I think Azumarill is the most safest choice here that can build a solid team, and of course you have to remember about Meganium as a wildcard.
And about movesets for Azu.
Okay, so of course.
Can we get all 3, please?
We can keep.
Yeah. Can we get a new TM that we can have 3 moves?
Okay, that's.
Okay, that will be amazing, of course, because.
Jokes aside, if there was one Pokemon that you could use 3 moves,
yeah, it will be Azumarill.
It would be Azu. I'm 100% sure it would be Azumarill.
Yeah. No questions about it. It will be Azumarill. About movesets, yeah, that's interesting. I think that's our choice. I think if personally,
I think it would depend a lot on the role that Azumarill would have on your team. Example, if you're lacking a lot of grass coverage, if you don't have a flyer, your Azumarill probably needs an Ice Beam. But example, if you have a Flyer, and if you don't have that good of an Azumarill counter, then maybe Play Rough would be really good. And I guess Hydro Pump is just really good. I think I would always run Hydro Pump on my Azumarill. It just hits so hard for neutral.
I would run if it was me. I would run Hydro Pump for sure, because I think that changes a lot of matchups against the Steel types. Sometimes you get stuck into it in late games, and you need this huge move to finish it off. Mainly against Rage Steel, Skarmory too, because Skarmory can deal a lot of damage to Azumarill. He can resist Ice Beam and Play Roof, and Hydro Pump can be a great move against Skarmory too. And for the Ice Beam or Play Roof, probably Play Roof. I know that the matchup is not the same. I mean, it's not. I can't deal the same damage against an Altaria as I will do with Ice Beam. I know that will not be the same against a Meganium or a Venusaur, but I think you're gonna be. You don't. That they are matchups against the grass types. They are matchups that you don't want to be, and I think you're gonna be more commonly in mirror matches than against the grass types, and I believe you're gonna have a team that can cover those grass too. In that situation, Play Roof will make a huge difference. So I would say Play Roof and Hydro Pump. I don't know about you guys.
I'm trying to test Play Roof and Ice Beam because I think that they will be a lot of Meganics. A lot. So I think that Ice Beam will be needed, but it's a choice.
It's a tough choice, yeah.
If you see a lot of Meganiums, would you say that would be worth to pick like Skarmory instead of Azumarill in Gen 2?
Nope. Use Noctowl.
Yeah, Noctowl. Okay. You can use Pidgeot with Legacy.
True story.
But yeah,
I think Noctowl is a good pick.
Yeah, I know. Just
we will talk about that later.
Yeah, Noctowl is better. It's better, of course. So Mali, what about you? About the moveset?
Again, it would depend a lot on my team comp, but I've run for the longest time Ice Beam Play Rough, and when Go Battle League came, I just kind of felt the need of Hydro Pump for Registeel. Okay. So I was playing with Hydro Pump and Ice Beam, and after being stuck in that annoying mirror for like 100 games, I was like, okay, I've had enough. I'm gonna use Play Rough instead of Ice Beam. And to be honest, example, in all my games today, I used the Azumarill, and I only really needed Ice Beam one time against the Meganium. And to be honest, it didn't matter because I was dead anyway.
Yeah.
And
same for me.
I was stuck in like 10 Azu mirrors. I'm not even joking, maybe more. So yeah, in my opinion, Play Rough, Hydro Pump, at least for the moment being, and with a lot of people going into this meta with a lot of the Go Battle League mentality, I think it will be really good with a Play Rough Hydro Pump.
That's true. I've in all the battles that I did today. Today I've tested Play Roof and Hydro Pump in Azumarill, and I face Registeel and Mirror matchup a lot of times. I just thought I was stuck in a situation against a Meganium. It was a situation that I've thrown a Play Roof, but I wouldn't win anyway. So that's a situation in I will in 25, at least for me for today. So is it worth it just for that minimal cases to run Ice Beam, or go for the move to have more coverage for the meta? Because the mirror will be very common. And you will and hydro pump. You will if your opponent knows that you if you are against a Registeel and if your opponent knows that you have not hydro pump in your Azumarill, man, get out of here. Because it's true. Be stuck with an Azumarill without a hydro pump against a Registeel. It's very bad.
But that bubbles will hurt a little bit. Bubble him.
I've saw some people. I can broke the play from a lot of players here right now, but I've seen some people running play roof and hydro pump and go charging up to hydro pump, going to play roof. Usually your opponents shield the first one. They will shield play roof and they will not gonna shield the next, even if they are very low, and they're going for hydro pump. Your opponent. It's not the usual moveset, play roof and hydro pump, because Ice Beam can win you some decisive games. That's true.
It costs less 5 energy to charge. That could be the key in some tough matches.
Yeah, that's true. That's why this moveset I think is the one of the most debatable movesets in
That's why Elite TM should be able to give you a third move if you really want.
And master.
So I could TM my Azo.
So I want to leave that question for the chat. Which moveset do you guys would pick for Azumarill? That's a good question for the chat.
Yep.
So I think we are mostly done here on Johto.
Let's take a 5-minute break. We're gonna be here for the rest of the night. Okay.
Before I move on to Gen 3, if there's any pick here in Johto, even a spicy one that you want to talk.
Let me see. There are people, just one in the tournament that I did yesterday that used Mantine.
Okay.
The Mantine, but it's like Malipi was saying. If you saw that your opponent team there is a Mantine, you play different.
I think it was like a Suicune in Ferocious Cup.
Yeah.
You would expect mainly because these kind of debuffers are very good as a lead. They work okay as a not safe swap, but switch in some situations, but mainly in as a lead, and you can predict them easily. So yeah.
Yep. But for Mantine, you don't have a really good move like Suicune with Hydro Pump.
Yeah, you only have
that you can bait or not.
Yeah, it will be Bubble Beam and Ice Beam most of the cases.
Beam.
So we have in the chat they are mentioned Lugia and Lantern.
Lugia.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about Lantern.
Okay. Let's go. So we're gonna talk about the both, but let's go Lantern first. Okay.
I wanted to talk about two, but we can leave the other one behind, which is Gramble, because I think it's a really underrated charmer, which has a huge attack stat and has an amazing coverage. The Pokemon is amazing. But yeah, Lantern. I really want to talk about Lantern because I really do think that this Pokemon is super, super underrated.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it could easily do the job of an Azumarill, especially because you win the mirror. I mean, with mirror, I mean Lantern versus Azumarill. And it frees you the option to take Umbreon or Skarmory instead of Azu. So,
and
because he's not in he can be picked as a wild card. And I really do think that Lantern is really good for this cup.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I was really a huge fan of Lantern back in Jungle Cup. I was using it a lot. I like. He's a tanky Pokemon. You can wall a few ones, and it was with Water Gun. Now with Spark, you can charge up more quickly the Thunderbolt and Hydro Pump. You can win more matchups here. Against Azumarill, is a wall for Azumarill, and there are gonna be a lot of Azumarills. You can still have a good. Of course, the Flyers. There's no need to talk about them, but you can also have a good matchup in late game against Registils. So.
And to be honest, Spark does a really good damage. Actually, I was surprised when I saw it.
Yeah. If it's not Charge Beam, is okay.
Exactly.
Charge Beam is horrible, man. But yeah, even against Registeel can. You can throw. You have to throw Focus Blast to deal a significant amount of damage.
But 50%.
Yeah, but even both moves are resisted, so you will have a hard time trying to deal with Hydro Pump. I think Lantern could. I think we're gonna see a lot of Lanterns too, because if you can pick it as a wild card against Azumarill, you can have some interesting matchups there.
But I think that you don't want to have Azu and Lantern, two water types.
It could be rough, but why not? It will depend in the team composition in general, but we will see. Yeah, Azumarill can take care of some Flyers too, of course. But here we go back to the same discussion. Will you run Ice Beam for the Flyers? Will you not? You can stay here. You can stay here all night talking about that.
I might be crazy, but just a quick saying. I actually in Gen 3, one of my favorite teams, I picked Whiscash over every other super pick. And for some reason, a lot of people just have one counter to Whiscash, which is a grass Pokemon, and then they usually have, for example, Alolan Marowak, Toxic Rogue. They just completely ignore the fact that your team is all weak to Azumarill. To Whiscash instead of.
That's gonna be a huge way that many people gonna think that they will pick Pokemons that other players may think, okay, no one's gonna pick that because there are better Pokemons around, especially in Gen 3. Why would you pick a Whiscash if you can pick a Registeel, an Altaria, a Swampert, for Tropius? There are a lot. I can't remember all now, but yeah, I understand your line of your lineup. So and that's true. There are gonna be I think we're gonna see a lot of spicy because people are not gonna expect that.
Yeah.
So
and Whiscash can't be a wild card.
Yeah.
No, he cannot. Unfortunately,
he cannot. Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, he's on the ban.
It will be huge if it could.
Yeah.
By the way, on Gen 4, for example, the only ones that I really remember that are on the ban list is Bastiodon and Cresselia. And a lot of people are going to choose Bastiodon and probably choose Toxic Rogue, which is not banned. I don't know why. You can pick Toxic Rogue as a wild card.
Yes.
So I've seen a lot of people running, for example, Registeel and Bastiodon in the same team because they just like them, I guess. They really like the tanks. And I'm just like there with my Whiscash, like, ha, come here.
Yeah, why not?
Because they had like Meganium and was like the only true counter to Whiscash. And people just forget about, I don't know, the power of the Whiscash because he can really be outshined by the other ones in the Gen 3. But he's really good. Don't sleep on Whiscash, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to finish the Johto, we have Lugia here. Do you guys think that Lugia has some play? With the common moveset, I will go for Dragon Tail, Sky Attack, and
Dragon Tail, yeah.
Probably Hydro Pump.
Yep, for Reggie.
Yeah, for the tanks. But even I believe he has Lugia.
Yesterday I saw one, but as a wild card.
Yeah, it can be a wild card.
I think that because of all the choices that we have in Gen 3, Lugia is tough.
Yeah, it's tough
to pick Lugia.
Like
and you need to have one Lugia below 1500. So
yeah. I believe at this point many people already have one, but for the new players at least that could be very hard to find that, because we don't see Lugia with that CP for a long time, and for the ones that may add one, probably they already trade them. So yeah, but look, I think Lugia has play. Lugia has play like it always has in each cup. He can make a debut.
But just one thing, like, again, would you pick her instead of any of the Azumarill, Umbreon, and would you sacrifice your wildcard pick for a Lugia? Like, you know what I mean? Why don't you pick like a stronger flyer, like Skarmory from Johto, and you get a wild pick for something else? I just don't see, at least in my opinion, and I have a Lugia and I used her in Sinister, so I really like the Pokemon, but I just don't see a place for her, especially in the wild card, when she has to compete with Meganium, Toxicroak, etc. Like, really strong picks.
Okay, we get it. Okay, so I think we can go for Gen 3 right now, finally. Okay, so this is fun. The first
Shift 3.
Everything is yellow. What's going on?
Everything is yellow. I think this is bug. This is gonna be rough. So okay, here you see most of these picks are picks that you see in GBL, right? Altaria, Registeel, Swampert, the Oxy Defense Form, Tropius. Oh my god, there are a lot of huge picks here in this section. I don't even know what to start. You talked about Shift 3. Okay.
Well, Reggie and move on.
The thing is, I think the biggest debate relies on Altaria or Registeel for sure.
Yes, but I don't know.
Okay, but if it makes things easier, we see Swampert and Whiscash both being on the limited Pokemon. Which one would you, if you had to choose a Mud Boy here, which would it be? Like, would you rather go with Swampert or Whiscash?
Whiscash.
Since we were saying that probably the Flyers don't have a lot of room, do you think that Swampert would be much better since you don't need Blizzard from Whiscash for the Flyers?
If you have you don't want to stay against a. Did you ever stay with a Whiscash against a Grass type in the end of the match and you satisfiedly throw a Blizzard and win the match?
Yeah, but a lot of times I also just die straightly from being farmed down.
I know.
It's not that easy to have.
But even.
And you have Sludge Wave with Swampert as well.
Yeah, you have Sludge Wave, but it will be worth to run Sludge Wave like that because I get it. Sludge Wave was very famous in GBL because you probably will encounter Azumarill in your opponent's lineup. But in this case, there are 6, and you can surprise your opponent. That's the factor, the surprise factor that you don't have here.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I prefer Whiscash. I'm all aboard on the Whiscash hype train.
Yeah.
With Swampert is much squishier. I'm just trying to give Swampert a chance here because, in my opinion, Whiscash is just better.
No,
I'm just trying to give Swampert a chance to shine.
Swampert is a huge Pokemon. That's no question about it. The Swampert is huge. I just think Whiscash can be more solid, especially against the tanks, and I think Swampert can be better. Talking about the moveset of Swampert again, I think Swampert will need at least Earthquake to try to take down the Registeel. I guess a Registeel, if you don't have shields on Swampert, be careful, man, because a Focus Blast will put you away.
Yep. More than 50%.
Yeah, that's a lot. But yeah, if you will see picks like Toxic Rogue, Registeel, of course, other tanks that you can find, poison type Pokemons too. I think Whiskas can be more solid about that. Yeah, I would go for Whiskas, and I like Blizzard. I believe there are gonna be at some point. I believe that people are gonna recognize the value of Altaria and try to find a way to play without Registeel in their teams. And Altaria, there's gonna be 50-50 with Registeel and Altaria, and Whiskas can be very good, but because he can counter both. And that not the same happens to Swampert, that most of the times loses to Altaria. So that I think that's my opinion in Whiskas.
What about you, Ricardo?
Well, I think that Reggie is my choice because I run him in GBL, but I try to...
The GBL mentality.
Yeah. And he's an excellent pick because that's
because he's just broken. We all know
he's broken. Yes, with that lock on, with that lock on, he's broken. But Altaria is very good. You know.
That's a question. That's a question.
Power.
Yeah. I think Altaria is one of the most killer of generalist picks. So he generally for taking Azumarill of the board, of course, it can have a good matchup against a lot range of things, and I'm talking about spicy picks. Altaria has a good matchup against most of the known meta picks, if I can say like that. That's one of the reasons that I've used Altaria instead of Skarmory in my regionals back last year, because of course I was expecting a lot of meta, but Altaria, if I saw off meta picks, Altaria can deal with most of them. So that's one of the reasons that I picked Altaria back there.
Yep. And what do you think about Deoxys?
Man, Deoxys, it is very good. The thing is, I think we are not going to see many Skarmories, because even so
I'm just gonna say that Deoxys is the king of generalists. Like, yeah, I think he probably is even better than Altaria. Like, he can always be annoying, especially if you go with the Psycho Boost, because then you have a little game that you just built like two, you fire back to back, and then you swap, and it's really annoying to deal with a good player using Deoxys defense. It can be really oppressive.
And in a lead, if you got Altaria, you have to be careful because Altaria can win you. If he spends the 2 shields, I think he wins. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's a bit IV dependent. But if it's a 2-2 shield scenario, it's a hard match against Altaria, even if you have Rock Slide. Yeah, you lose. You actually lose. Deoxys loses to Altaria in 2 shields.
Because Dragon Breath is fair.
Dragon Breath is too oppressive, but you can win with the third Sky Attack actually. So yeah, Altaria is even against a soft counter, Altaria can win in that scenario. Of course,
Altaria can win against Registeel in the 2 shields.
Yeah, that's the thing. So yeah,
because for example, if someone swaps Altaria and you swap into Azumarill, you can literally fire like Sky Attack, and he fires Ice Beam, and you can actually wait the full clock so you can swap again. That's how OP Altaria is.
Yeah, that's true. I was using Deoxys to counter Altaria, Altaria and Azumarill and Skarmory, that kind of picks. And I was having a hard time against Altaria picks just because of that. Because the Dragon Breath power is huge. We are talking about. I don't want to go. I think everyone already knows these known wildcard picks, and we're gonna talk about Tropius a bit more. But I want to talk about Sableye. Sableye is not a wild pick. We were talking about how Umbreon could be a good generalist, but Sableye can have a really good play against most of the same picks that Umbreon can deal with. And I'm talking about...
Let me just ask one thing, because it's perfect that you bring Sableye. I was going to ask exactly that. If people pick Sableye and, for example, they also pick Altaria, they can probably pick Umbreon, do you see room in this cap for a Charmer? Because I especially like Wigglytuff, since she can resist the Skarmory.
The thing is...
the Haunter. Do you see room in this cup for a Charmer? And if so, which one would it be?
I would say yes, but the thing is, Wigglytuff is not eligible for a wild card.
Yes, that's the problem.
They think
she's not.
No, yeah. That this.
Oh, nice! I forgot about that.
I personally, my favorite Charmer is Wigglytuff. That's my personal. I think Clefable is a lot better in Ultra League, in my opinion. Just because there's no Wigglytuff in Ultra League. But of course, there's opinions. But yeah, Wigglytuff is a wild pick. I believe Clefable is not a wild pick. Let me. It's not. Yeah, Clefable is not a wild pick. I think the only Charmer as a wild pick is Wigglytuff. So yeah, but yeah, you can still use a Charmer as a wild pick. You can go for Clefable, for example.
Yep. You have Vigoroth too.
Yeah, Vigoroth is huge.
Like they are saying in the chat.
I believe Vigoroth is gonna be one of the most. It's gonna be in the most picked wildcards. There are a lot of Vigoroth fans. I'm one of them. In some scenarios, I would prefer it instead of Toxicroak. It is a great. If in this scenario that you can see your opponent's team differently from GBL. And if you see your opponents as not a hard counter like Toxicroak, you can safely run Vigoroth as a safe swap, and it can do a great job as like that.
Yep, for sure.
But we were. I don't know if you want to add anything, Malipi, but I was going back to Sableye.
Yeah, just go back to Sableye.
Yeah, I was saying Sableye as one of the most favorite matches that I didn't know until a few days ago is the matchup against Registeel. You can win a range against Registeel if you spend the shields. Yeah, and that's I think that's a huge difference. Because you can still deal with Altaria, you deal with Hypnos very well. You deal with I'm looking here against the grass types. You can deal with Marowak too. You can deal against Registeel. You can also deal with Skarmory. Of course, you can't deal with Azumarill. It will be too much. But even if you are stuck against Azumarill, Power Gem will deal an interesting amount of damage to Azumarill.
I was going to ask you, which moveset do you like on Sableye? Because I've seen a lot of people going with Shadow Sneak lately.
Power Gem to that Altarius.
Yeah, I prefer Power Gem as well, but I actually don't... I mean, I understand that Shadow Sneak is a little bit better versus Azumarill. I think it's better than Power Gem, and of course foul play being resisted because Azumarill is part fairy. But I've seen people run a lot of Shadow Sneak, and I don't understand why. I actually don't.
I will go, yeah, but I like Power Jam just because of it's a better closing move against an Altaria, against an Azumarill.
Against any flyer.
Yeah, it's a better closing move. It's not the full play will be the way to go most of the times. In a shield scenario, because full play can also deal a lot of damage. You can do 44 damage to an Altaria with a foul play, with less 15 energy than compared to Power Gem. Most of the times you want to charge until Power Gem and goes full play, because you can still do a lot of damage if they not shield. Yeah, but looking at Sableye, nothing be a wild card, nothing be exclusive. I think we're gonna see a lot of Sableyes. He has a lot of good matchups. He's a good generalist too, because he can take care of a lot of spicy known meta picks, like the same argument as Altaria back there.
And like Mr. Mendigo is saying in the chat, Regirock is pretty good too. That Stone Edge charges like a flash.
Yeah, the thing.
Just one thing. Did we forget to talk about Tropius? Or we talked about Tropius?
Yeah, we are going there. Don't worry. We have a lot of talk to talk to.
We are talking about the spicy picks.
Yeah, Regirock.
Okay.
The thing I don't like about Regirock is because it's too squishy for a Regi.
Yeah, but if he faces some hard counters, like Whiskas, like
you don't even have to. It don't even need to be a hard counter. If he takes a huge move, even Reg still can. You can take a huge move if it's not super effective. But I think Regirock loses a lot to that. But still, Stone Edge can be. You can use Regirock as a hard flyer counter. Still, so and you still have Focus Blasts.
Yes.
To deal with things. So yeah.
And about Shiftry. Shiftry Tropius.
Yeah, the grass.
Yeah, the grass guys.
I don't know if I can search.
I think you need to put Gen 3.
Okay, that's it.
Grass.
I get it. Okay, I got it. Yeah. So, I have some people in the chat talking about Setile too, Ludicolo. Of course, Ludicolo is always with us. But yeah, Shiftry. Oh man. Okay. So, Shiftry. What do you like about Shiftry in this cup compared to the others? Do you think the Dark type will be very favorable in this cup?
Yeah, I mean, again, I just really like Pokemon like Shiftry, because if you get a little bit of an energy lead, you can do so much. Like, it's such a good safe swap, because I mean, unless you're facing a Charmer, and if you are, I mean, you're probably doomed. But if you're not facing a Charmer, you can always force some shields with Shiftry, and I think that's really good. But it's super squishy, so if you need like a super tanky grass, Tropius or Meganium probably will be better. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that relies on what do you want to choose as your exclusive picks. I will call these yellows the exclusive picks. I think it's better to have a name for them.
Yeah, not wild.
Because like Shifter with no shields, it's a dead weight in my opinion. Like, it's probably just dead.
Yeah, but yeah,
He's super squishy.
it can still have a good matchup against Registeel and against Azumarill, so it's a good pick. At the moment you can counter those two huge Pokemon. Um, I think GIF3 can be a good pick in some scenarios.
And the Haunter, don't forget it.
Yeah, Hunter.
Resist the attacks and can lead full play.
Yeah, and Marowak. Marowak, it's in a different.
Marowak.
It is in a different section here. It's in a Alolan and section.
Yeah, but you will run with the Farfang, so Shiftry
The first spin.
will takes a lot. Yes, first spin will take a lot of damage too.
Yeah,
Shiftry.
that's true. That's true. But yeah, again, I guess
the problem is like if Shiftry has like one Snarl extra, a poor Marowak is useless.
Yeah.
I think he wins with like you can just spam Leaf Blade if I'm not like you just need to land one Foul Play and then like two Leaf Blades and Marowak is dead.
okay.
Because Snarl does a lot of damage because Marowak is also Ghost.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. And don't forget against Hypno. Hypno is gonna be one of the best, the most picked ones from Kanto.
Yeah, a good one actually.
So yeah, but here in Gen 3 we have one of the best grass type users, that is Tropius, and I believe for the ones that I think there are a lot of Razor Leaf fans around there. But I think Air Slash variant is way too good. That's my honest opinion. I think charging those leaf plates and having the ability to farm other grass types. For example, against a Venusaur, where usually you would have a bad matchup. If you have Razor Leaf, you have to try to shield the Sludge Bombs and try to use an Aerial Ace, but it will be too hard if your opponent has shields. With Air Slash, you can change that scenario. But and of course you keep your good matchups against the Waters. You increase your matchups against the Fighters. What you guys think about Tropius? It is worth it to pick that instead of things like Registeel, Azumarill.
I mean, sadly, I don't even have a Tropius, so.
What the hell are you doing in Brazil, man?
No Tropius here. Not even Carsolas. Like, feels bad.
Man.
I just have a lot of Heracross and Chatot. Other than that, nothing interesting.
Oh man, that's poor. Okay, but so you are saying that you are saying that you are not going to use it. So okay, you don't have it.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I'm not going to use it because I don't have it. But is really good because it can be your flyer and your grass type, and I really like that on Tropius.
And that's
super
huge.
flexible.
Yeah, and that's huge. That's huge because it.
But again, are you willing to use Tropius instead of Whiscash, Registeel, Altaria? You know what I'm going now.
Yeah,
I'm just being
I
a
know.
little bit annoying, but this is Gen 3. This is where the big boys are at, okay?
Yeah, one of the
is
best
he that big
generations.
of a boy to choose? I just don't know if he's that good. I mean, he's really good, but I don't know if he's just better than Altaria, Azumarill, another Azumarill, Registeel, etc.
I believe that there are going to be a lot of players that will play around without Registeel and Altaria. It will depend on your on your pick on your picks. If you can cover the roles that they do, it's okay. Of course, you can lack in some situations. You can lack in some scenarios, but yeah. But at least I think Tropius could be very interesting just because he can cover those two roles that we are talking about as a flyer and as a grass type users, and that sometimes that can be really interesting. So about grass types, of course there are a lot in Gen 3. We can't run into them all, but we have here Satile. Do you guys think Satile can be have some usage with? I think the right moveset is Fury Cutter with Leaf Blade, and then you can run a lot of. I've seen a lot of builds with Frenzy Plant, Aerial Ace, or Dragon Claw. You can also run Earthquake, but I don't think that's a good moveset for a Satile.
I saw someone with the Earthquake that hit me in my Regis still in GBL.
And you are not expecting that.
Was not good, but I don't know. For pick from Gen 3, I think will not be.
This would be a wild card, I assume.
Yeah, wild card.
And for wild card, there's a lot going on for sure.
There are a few fans of Satiles around there.
Well, that's just one thing. I think he really lacks the fact that he's usually going with Fury Cutter. Like, I really enjoy on my grass type to have a grass fast move.
Yeah, like Wrestler.
But
yeah, exactly. Or even Vine Whip. You can do some damage to the Mud Boys. But Fury Cutter is just a little bit lacking, in my opinion.
Yeah, but don't forget, with Fury Cutter you can have a better matchup against Hypno, Defense Form Deoxys, Raichu Alolan, that you can see some of them around there. So
I mean, and all those three, I could just pick Umbreon, for example.
Yeah, but Umbreon is a exclusive pick from Joro.
Yeah, I know. But for example,
but I know what you mean.
I don't know. I just don't see a point in choosing Sceptile. I really don't. I mean, unless you really like the Pokemon, by all means, if you like the Pokemon, you can just choose it because you like him. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you can play. You can play around it.
Of course.
You can play around it, of course. Again, against those psychic that I was talking, you have better, more. It's not. I don't want to say better because I think every Pokemon can be good in a certain scenario. But it's more balanced to run, for example, a Meganium or a Venusaur compared to a Sceptile. It's more like a safe choice. Better stats, better movesets, things like that. Okay, so we did a run here on Gen 3. So I don't know if there's a more one more picks that you want to cover here. We have Jirachi. We have Gardevoir that is exclusive too. Shadow Gardevoir is really interesting too.
Yeah,
be careful.
It's not interesting. It's really stupid. It's so strong. Even against the Registeel, the Charm are chunking away. It's insane.
Yeah, if you don't shield the Shadow Ball, man, get out. Yeah, and Jirachi, if you don't have a Sableye or a Umbreon to counter it in your team, it can be very annoying because. And I think it worked very well as a safe swap because you can have a decent matchup against Azumarill. Doom Desire does an interesting amount of damage against it. I think Doom Desire is a amazing move here. You can counter the flyers with Doom Desire. You have also Psychic. He's a confusion user. You can take care of the fighters. You can take care of Venusaur that you will see. You can also win against Meganium. So I think Jirachi is going to be an interesting pick. It's not exclusive, so why not?
Just one thing. What do you guys think about the fire types? Because we actually didn't really talk about fire types. I guess like at least Charizard and Blaziken and even Typhlosion they could see play. Infernape is just not good, but like the starter fire types and especially Marowak ones.
Yeah,
What do you guys think?
I think go Ricardo, go.
I was running shiny Sunny Castform yesterday, but that didn't go so well. I think.
I just feel like Ember is not a good move because Weather Ball and Solar Beam is pretty cool, but I think the problem for the guest form is Ember. Ember is just a little bit on the bad side.
The thing I think between fires there will be a great dispute between Charizard and Alolan Marowak. You're gonna see a few of the others like Typhlosion and Blaziken mainly, but Charizard and Marowak will be the dominant fire type users here.
Yes, Charizard is very good, but
just one thing, for example, if you see a lot of Dugong, then Blaziken is actually really good.
Oh yeah, but yeah, the thing is, I would only suppose that can be a lot that I can find a lot of Dugong. Imagine if Niantic released.
Yeah, because people don't have it. I know. I'm just saying if Niantic releases for some reason and you actually see a lot of Dugong, Blaziken can shine. It can be an amazing pick for this cup.
Yeah.
Yep, you can counter Reggie still, and other tough guys.
Like even an Umbreon will get in trouble against Blaziken.
Yeah, of course, with that counter.
Because since he's also part fighting, the counter has stab, and don't sleep on the counter with stab. Counter is broken.
In Gen 5, we have another counter guy to talk about.
Okay, so you guys want to move on the next gen?
Yeah, let's get to 4.
Yes, let's go.
Okay, so we have here the 2 picks that we have been talking along with since the start. That is Bastiodon as a tank again. It's an exclusive pick, and we have been talking about Toxicroak a lot too. Probably the most common fighter that will be picked between the fighters. It's not exclusive.
Just one question. Yeah. Do you think Cresselia deserves a ban? Because I don't understand why she deserves a ban. Like, she's good. But for example, in my opinion, Toxicroak is much better than the Cresselia. I don't know.
I believe Cresselia is so tanky.
Yes, it's tanky.
It's tank as hell.
Toxicroak does so much damage and has an amazing coverage and nice counter.
Yeah, I know your point here.
Like, Cresselia is good, don't get me wrong, but Toxicroak, hello?
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yes,
okay.
It's so good.
I get it.
He has such an amazing moves. And Cresselia, I mean, she's tanky, but if you go with Confusion, you take ages to get to your moves. And if you go Psycho Cut, you don't deal that much damage. So, I mean, she is good, but I don't think she is worthy of a ban, at least.
I know your point. Yes, I understand you. From this generation, I did choose Grutel.
Shadow.
What do you think about it?
Oh,
no, I don't
okay.
have. I don't have the Shadow one. I have. I spent a lot of this in the normal form.
Grutel, okay.
Yeah, and he did a great role yesterday.
You used that?
I think one of the...
Yes, I used it against Azumarill, against one Swampert. He kills Swampert
with like 3?
What?
3 Razor Leafs?
With Razor Leafs? Yes, and the body slam
with like 3 fast attacks, I think, and Swampert is dead.
Yeah, probably.
Not 3, but 4, I think. Yeah, I'm not running the Shadow version, okay?
Oh, okay. But like the Shadow version, probably like 3 Razor Leafs and is dead. I think he doesn't even have time to get to an Hydro Cannon.
And the Grizzle is a little bit tanky too. He's not that bad. Because you need to put him in the high level. So
Yeah.
it's not bad. And Body Slam is not a bad move.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Even
requires
Energy Ball.
less
Energy Ball is really good as well.
Yeah, but Energy Ball takes years to
Takes
charge.
forever.
Yeah, I don't. And in fact, if you have Razor Leaf, you don't need that energy ball problem.
Well, to be honest, if you ask Razor Leaf, you really should go for a Solar Beam. It's really good.
At least you have respect using that solar beam. Okay, so about Bastia then, could you guys see people leaving Registeel behind and taking Bastion to fit his role?
Yes, totally. I did that. I chose Whiscash and picked Bastiodon here. And I have to say, I was pretty okay with that.
Yes, so
it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I also didn't use it a lot. I was just using it to scare away the potential flyers. Because it just takes so long. And I don't know, he's just much worse than Registeel. But I just really wanted to pick Whiscash. And just like the chat is saying, you can also pick Melmetal instead of Bastiodon. And you can pick something else here. And yeah, Melmetal, I think that it can do the job of Registeel in some way, but it's just a lot more squishy.
Yeah, and a lot. You can say a lot one more time, because I love Melmetal in higher leagues, but
in Master League, for example,
Ultra is good, Master is OP, but in Great League, even if of course you have you can charge up your fast moves very quickly. But and he is on. I think he's in a 5 slot. He's not from any generation that we know. So Melmetal stays in the 5th spot. But yeah, Melmetal. If you decide to don't run Registeel, definitely you're gonna see Melmetal as a substitute for Registeel. And you can win the some matchups that Registeel can't, especially like in the supposed mirror that Melmetal against Registeel. You can win that matchup with superpowers. You can still win against Humbrians. You can still win against Bastiodons. You can still win a few matches that Registeel would win. You just lose the tankiness of Registeel.
That's true. And you will not want to run the both Registeel and Melmetals.
Oh no! I think that's not a good idea. I think that's not a good idea.
But to be honest, what if you just don't pick a steel tank, since you probably won't see a lot of flyers anyway? And if you really want like a super duper tank, you can go with Cresselia instead of Bastiodon. Just an idea.
I think
you could just not pick a steel type.
What you are saying, yeah. What you, I think, you can't. I think you are trying to say is not trying to focus a lot on steel types. You can.
Yeah, exactly. Because you will see a lot of counters to steel types. At least I like to counter steel types because they're really good.
You will need to counter steel types.
Steel types, they can be really not that, like, if you have a Whiscash in your team and I don't have a steel type, I mean, Whiscash is still good, but he's just not broken.
Yeah, that's true. I think steel types, people are going to be very afraid of Registeel, and they are going to try to counter it, and that's why, mainly because Azumarill and Registeel will be very common. I think Toxicroak will be one of the most common fighters because he can counter both. So yeah, but yeah, we can see Cresselia in some matchups here. because it's also a tank. You can choose not running a steel tank, but also another kind of tank. I'm also looking here to Munchlax. That's one of my favorite spicy picks ever. I didn't use it, but it can have very interesting matchups. If you look at, you can mainly against Marowak, again against the psychic users like Hypno and Raichu. You and in some scenarios, of course, depending also on IVs, you can win against Registeel and Altaria.
Yep. How about choosing steel type that can beat fighting types?
Like
Bronzong.
oh,
Bronzong.
This is for Gen 4.
Yep.
Okay. Let me go for steel types. Well, we are talking about steel types, so I'm just gonna search their steels. So we are talking about Bronzong.
Where is he?
Yeah, it's very low position, but
Very low. Yeah. But that
We can
confusion
also use Wormadam. Haha, so cool.
no, no, madam. But yeah, you can go. There are a few steel types that we have been talking, like Registeel, Skarmory, Bastion, and we will talk more about Melmetal after Gen 4. Jirachi, well, we already talked about it. You have Empoleon. Empoleon, you have to be careful against Empoleon. I know it will not be very common, I believe, but be careful with it. Those waterfalls are deadly. And yeah, but Bronzong, there are huge fans of Bronzong around there, and since you can counter Toxicroak, Venusaur, Altaria, Hunter, Skarmory, you can in some matchups you can also counter Melmetal because Melmetal is very squishy just because of that. Because usually if you go superpower, you can normally you can of course it's a very hard matchup against Melmetal, but still in some scenarios you can win. But the most interesting scenarios will be against the Flyers, Altaria, Skarmory, Venusaur, and Toxicroak, of course.
We have Frostless too. For Gen 4.
Frostless, okay.
Gastrodon. Gliscor. Licky.
Oh, Licky.
And Probopass. We are
I see.
talking about Probopass. Another steel type.
Yeah, Probopass in Gen 4 too.
I really like Frostless as well.
You think Frostless can have some play here?
Like, if you don't see a lot of fires, which I don't really think you're gonna see, unless you're talking about Alolan Marowak, then I think yeah, you can probably see like for Alolans, the first two that come to my mind like instantly, it's Raichu and Marowak. But I don't know. I just think that Frostless can be really good in some situations, especially if you can see like that everyone is running grass.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you can like farm down a little bit with the Frostless, she can really pop off. But yeah, you can do that with other Pokemon, so maybe not. Like Hunter can do that as well.
Okay.
And so I don't know. It was just an idea.
Yep.
Okay.
He's a nice type that resists fighting type, so he's interesting.
The thing, I'm gonna be honest. Since Azumarill started to run more Hydro Pump, and I think that happens since the World Championship last year, because a lot of people run Hydro Pump in World Championship and there are some scenarios where Hydro Pump was good, especially in Mirror Cup last year. I think we started to see more Hydro Pump Azumarills because before that we only saw Ice Beam and Play Roof, and that's all. it will be very rare to find a Hydro Pump Azumarill. And what I'm trying to say is, I would love to play Probopass, because in that time I can counter not only the flyers but also the Azumarill. I've used Probopass to counter Azumarill a lot because of Thunderbolt, and you can only it will resist.
You can also just use Spark, and
yeah, you can farm a bit. You can over farm easily, because the only damage that the only big damage that Azumarill will deal with you against you was bubbles. The other two was both resisted, but since Hydro Pump is getting too famous, I decided the Probopass loses a lot of play here in an open range of Great League. That's my opinion.
Also, I always try to compare like any tank to Registeel, and what always comes to my mind is how Registeel can kill all the other tanks because he has access to Focus Blast. And that's the main reason, at least for me, the reason why he's so dominant, because he's the king of the steals, and he has such an amazing moveset that you can cover pretty much anything.
Yeah, Flash Cannon is
unless
huge.
you have like the Charizard and Alolan Marrow,
Yeah.
I think are the only ones that I come to my mind that can resist everything that
I think the only other steel type that can cover some of Registeel weakness can be the Melmetal in that case. But even Melmetal loses against Marowak. You can spam Rock Slides, but the Fire Spins from Marowak will be deadly.
Yeah, he's just too frail and greatly.
Yeah. So yeah, Gen 4, it's a cool spot, but I think many. So if you had to choose exclusive pick for this one, what should you choose? You have Cresselia, you have Bastiodon, you have Togekiss, you have Magnezone. Magnezone is on the exclusives. Pachirizo, you have Electivire. Oh my god, you have a lot.
You have Togekiss.
Yeah, Togekiss too. So what?
I'm trying to run Grutel, but don't know because I need some Razor Leaf.
Okay.
Guy. It is good. Believe me. But I need to do more practice.
More research for sure. But if I would pick, for example, Bastiodon here, I would go for Altaria, because I think Altaria and Bastiodon can do a good combo.
I think the Gen 4 is really good. Like, for it to be classed, sort of. Like, you just need what your team needs, and in this generation, you can usually find some side grade that actually works. Like, if you need a fighter, go Toxicroak, it's probably the better one. If you don't have a tank and you really want a tank, do you want a steel type? Are you super weak to Whiscash? Then maybe Cresselia instead of Bastiodon. Are you super weak to, I don't know, like flying? Well, then Bastiodon is probably a good pick instead of Cresselia. I just really like Gen 4 because of that. Oh, do I need a Charmer? I don't have room to pick a Charmer anywhere else. Well, I have Togekiss here. Like, I just really like Gen 4 because it's a versatile generation. There is only Toxicroak, in my opinion, that's like the top pick here.
Yeah.
Other than that, they're side grades, but they're like a good side grade, not a terrible side grade like I don't know, like Quagsire and Whiscash. I always prefer Whiscash because it's just so much cheaper. Although Quag also has play, I don't know. I don't want to insult anyone who likes Quagsire over Whiscash.
Okay, yeah. I think most of the, like the chat is saying, most of the times people are going to pick Toxicroak as a Gen 4 pick. So I think that this is an easy one to choose, I believe.
But just one to finish this generation. Gliscor
Oh, sorry.
is
Okay.
not that bad with that earthquake.
Yeah.
And
Would you go for a wing attack and use him like sort of as a flyer or a fury
yes,
cutter?
wing attack. He can beat. I was watching now. He can beat Regis still if baits the Night Slash. And
Okay, just one thing. There's an Articuno Shadow. Oh my god, what's that? I'm scared already.
I can't have that anymore.
Oh my god.
My Ultra League Articuno is a purified one because it was the better. It's a very good IVs one for Ultra Leagues. So yeah, can't have that no more. Yeah, but yeah, for sure, Gliscor can win that matchup against if Regicil fails the bait for Earthquake. Yeah, interesting pick here. And you can take care of the dominant tanks at Regicil and Bastiodon. You can still make some pressure against Raichu, Marowak, and if you run wing attack lineup, you go for against Toxicroak. However, even if you don't run Fury Cutter, if you don't run wing attack against Toxicroak, you can still win the matchup because you can resist the moves from Toxicroak.
Yeah. Well,
okay, let's go for Gen 5. Or not.
Alolan and stuff. And
I think Melmetals and that kind of things. So I have
Unova, Alola, Galar.
Yeah.
Okay, Alomomola is broken. I'm just joking. I just find funny the Pokemon. I was just joking, saying that Alomomola is broken. The
fish one.
The super love disc. Yeah, it's the super love disc.
Is the Dynamax form.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the Pokemon is so cute. I don't know. I really like the Alomomola.
But well, what I choose from here? Scrafty. I choose Scrafty. He's a nice counter guy. What do you think about it?
Scrafty.
Scrafty. Counter, power punch, full play.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that there won't be a lot of people using Charm. So I would even go and say that Zweilous can be really good. And
Zweilous
instead of Scrafty, you could pick, for example, Toxicroak. So you can, like, both of them are super, super weak to Charm. That's why I was saying, you can pick the both of them. So yeah, never mind. I thought that Scrafty wasn't on the ban list.
But you want to run two counter guys? No. But Scrafty is dark type too. He can resist that ghost types like Haunter.
Yeah, it's really interesting actually.
And the matchup against Marowak is amazing.
Yeah, you can win against Marowak. Shadow Ball is resisted. Bone Club don't deal a lot of damage.
Bone Club is just a bad move, sadly.
In some situations, you can win against grass types. It will depend on if you are very boosted or not.
Yep. After some power up punch, that counter starts to hurt a lot.
What about Zweilous?
Zweilous, I don't have anyone.
I don't have Zweilous either.
I have one, and
but Dragon Breath. Every Pokemon that can use Dragon Breath are good.
Okay.
But although he resists Shadow Ball from Haunter deals 60%. Something like that is ridiculous.
Yeah, still the Dragon Breath, the Dragon Breath damage, Zweilous again. It's an awesome safe swap. Look at this resistance. You can resist a lot of things because of his dragon and dark type typeness. You can resist all the elemental moves. You can resist the dark. You can resist the psychics. You can resist the ghost. Yeah, it's a huge Pokemon to deal with, and if you swap in with energy advantage, those body slams can really help you. But again, I don't know if people will use it. Will prioritize it, but in the generation, I think you can pick Marowak. Between Marowak and any other of these picks, I think Marowak will be the most picked one.
I mean, and also you have Raichu and the super spicy, super famous now with, I think it was Purple Kyogre that, at least the first video that I saw, talking about Galvantula and the Go Battle League and how good it is on Open Meta. And do you think that Galvantula could be better than Raichu Alolan in this meta? Since you can probably see the flyers don't really help here, to be honest, because she has an electric fast move, so I guess it doesn't matter.
The thing that I like, and we are talking about that before the stream started, about Galvantula, is bug buzz. That's a huge move against the grass types too. But I mean, I think Raichu has more play there. If running probably Grass Knot in Raichu can be better. I don't know. I don't know. This spot can be tricky. You have a lot of. It seems like that you don't, but you have a lot of things that you can pick from here.
Yep, Raichu is
all the Alolans. You have
Galvantula.
You have Muck too.
Nice.
Muck is Macalolan is a great poop.
You have a Mudboy too. That frog.
Yeah, the Sesame Toad.
Sesame Toad. Yes.
What is the move set?
Is Mud Shots.
That's Sludge Bomb.
Earth Power and Sludge Bomb. Yeah, and Mud Shot.
Wow, Sludge Bomb is really good. Like, here comes the grass. Bye bye grass.
Yeah. If your opponent doesn't know, it will be devastating, because this guy he can do some work. I've seen.
Farm down a Marowak, for example, and you shield the Shadow Ball. You're at like 100 energy, and here comes, for example, the Venusaur, the Meganium, and they're in trouble for sure.
Yeah, I've seen some good plays with Sesame Toad. I think I've caught yesterday one in GBL, and I was with Hunter. You can see the matchup. Yeah.
That third power can lower your defense.
Yeah, and you have the defense drop chance. Yeah, but like I was saying, this one is not easy to pick, because looking at it, I see at least Marowak I think Marowak will be the most common pick. First because most of the people already have a Marowak ready, and it's very cheap to have one. Melmetal is really expensive for the ones that don't have too much access to the Melton box. It could be expensive, and you have to spend a lot of Stardust to give you the second move and to power up, that kind of stuff.
Alolan Muck is also relatively cheap, because it's from the egg traded, and you just need 50k.
Yeah, and you just need 1 or 2 power-ups to...
No, you can't power it up.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true.
That's why I say it's cheap, like 50k, and that's it. And if you want to go super cheap, I guess you could run with only one move, but I wouldn't recommend, of course.
Yeah, but of course...
Alolan Raichu is also really cheap, super cheap.
Yeah. One of the most cheapest picks I've seen, and
it's really strong. It's actually really strong.
Yeah, and it's easy to get. You can just do a raid. If you
The problem with Galvantula really is the candies. Like, I only ever caught one Joltik in my life.
Oh my
How can you say it?
So, but here, I think that the pick from this slot will depend on the Gen 4 slot. But if you don't pick Toxicroak back there, I think Scrafty could be an interesting pick here.
Yes, I'm enjoying very much Scrafty.
You are using Scrafty?
Yep.
Okay.
I used yesterday for that cup.
That tournament. Okay.
And it was good.
Okay. So.
But yeah, you have a lot of other good choices.
Yeah.
Galvantula is very good. When I run against him in GBL, is not good.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Good
It means travels. So you have a few more interesting things here. You have Excavalier, that's also a great fighter. You have other you have other grass types like Superior. It's really interesting. There are people that like him. You have Sandslash. Yeah, you have a lot of things here too.
Well, actually, Graver Alolan, you should consider that actually.
Oh, because of Volt Switch.
Volt Switch and Rock Blast. Like, this should be really, really good, for example, for the Altaria, if people pick, and if you don't want to pick a tank, for example. I'm pretty sure a Rock Blast would deal a lot of damage to Altaria, I would assume.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It charges super quick, so. Well, I guess Charizard too, Skarmory too.
Yeah, actually. Oh, and you kill Venusaur as well. Nice.
So looking at it, I will be debating between Marowak and Scrafty here.
And you can put in this spot one Charmer user too. Don't forget it.
Yeah, you have Ninetales Alolan.
Yeah.
Oh, correct. Good call.
But recognizing that Toxicroak can be a wild card.
I would assume that most people will go for Marowak Alolan and for Raichu Alolan because of the Go Battle League and because of the accessibility. Like, they will have that already, and probably don't need the other picks.
There will be a few people running Zweilous, I believe. Especially because it's not too accessible.
And because it's always banned, like, poor Zweilous.
Okay, yeah, that's true. So we are running out of time. It's pretty late. So the last pick is a wild pick. In your opinion, I think what I want to do now is I'm gonna go each generation and tell me what pick you if you have to pick your team right now. What pick do you go for Gen 1?
Wait a second. Also, chat, tell us what team would you run?
Yeah. Guys, tell us some.
What wild pick would you like? Just tell us, talk with us, please, as well.
Yes.
Like, interact.
Yeah, you can go. Tell us your wild card. If you have other Pokemon that you guys want us to look at before we end the stream, please tell us. We will take a look. So, like I was saying, what pick are you guys choosing from Kanto? If you had to pick right now.
Go ahead, Ricardo.
Me? I'm not in the chat, but
no, you.
I pick Hypno for now.
Okay, Hypno double.
Confusion, Focus Blast to deal with that Regis.
Oh, you go for Focus Blast.
Focus Blast.
Oh, interesting.
I shall not sing this, but okay. But just for this
okay.
first.
Okay.
My first team to test it.
Okay.
And
Malika?
I sponge his fish. This is cool.
I think it's enough, yeah.
I'm really considering either Venusaur or Wigglytuff. I think you can really see a Charmer in this cup,
Okay.
but I also really like Venusaur. He's just really, really strong. I guess I'll just go with the Venusaur for now.
Venusaur, okay. Me, I would go for Hypno too, but not with Focus Blast. I will go with Shadow Ball, and Thunder Punch.
Thunder Punch, the classic.
The classic, yeah. So we'll go for Gen 2. For Gen 2, okay, I can end this very quickly, at least for me. I will go for a Azumarill because I like meta. I'm a meta guy, so I will go for a Azumarill. You can go on.
I guess I would most likely go for Azumarill, but let me just check this again.
Yes, Azumarill.
You try to think hard. Okay, what can I pick? What can I pick? Well, you are looking at
the.
Again, I'm really tempted to go with Lantern here.
Okay.
Because I really like Lantern.
Yeah, but don't forget that you can pick them.
I don't think I like it over Azumarill. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, I like Lantern, but I don't know if I like Lantern more than Azu. Okay. Other than the fact that, like, if you see everyone running Azu, then Lantern is a beast because you just win over Azu every single time.
Okay.
True story. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or so the annoying shifter.
I'm going with Lantern because YOLO.
You want to be the difference. The difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, go. So let's go for Gen 3 here.
Yeah, 3.
Okay, that's a huge. And here, at least for now, without researching a lot, I will go for Regis still. Just because,
Me too.
I mean,
I'll go for Whiscash, 100% here. Whiscash is gonna be amazing in this cup.
Okay. Yeah, Register.
Okay.
I think that was easy.
Be aware of my Grootl.
Yeah, but no, I will pick the grass type. I will pick the grass type probably in. I will pick the Meganium. I will reveal my wild card. I will pick Meganium probably.
Yeah, you are running Meganium in GBL so many times.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, so I'm very used to it.
So many times.
She's just so good.
Yes,
she's so good. That's the. I can't like just say like, oh, you are using Meganium. Like, why wouldn't you? She's so solid.
Yeah.
She's so bulky. Has such a good move pool. It's an amazing Pokemon.
Very good closer, in my opinion. I was using it as a lead, but I'm seeing that is a tremendous closer too. So here in you're in the Gen 4. What you? I would go for Toxicroak.
Yeah, probably Toxicroak as well.
I like Scrafty, but I want to.
No, Scrafty is for the other spot.
Yeah, but
about counter guys. Okay.
Yeah, but about the fighters, Mm-hmm. I would go for since I picked Registeel, I would go for Toxicroak here.
Yeah. Well,
you actually bring a really valid point that I probably could go for Cresselia or even Bastiodon, since I already have a Whiscash to take care of the tanks. I don't know. I guess I'll go with Cresselia just to be the different guy. Yeah, let's go. I'm just a different guy, okay? I'll go for Cresselia.
I go with Grootl.
Revenant in the chat is talking about what about Tropius? It's like we have talked about Tropius like it is good compared to the other grasses because it can also fill the role of a flyer. So yeah, that's if you can manage to have to cover the roles of the steel types, you can pick Tropius for your Gen 3 slot, having it with. I will go for Haircut. It is Haircutter, right? Haircutter, Leaf Blade, and Aerialis. So yeah. So Gen 4, it's done. Let's go for the last. This is a tricky one. Okay. So
Unova, you are.
Yeah, I got it. So
well,
here you will go for Scrafty, okay?
Yeah, because I don't have any counter guy from the other generations for now.
Okay, here my options will rely on Zwelius or Marowak, but since I'll probably for now will go with Marowak because I like his firepower against the grass types, against the Registeel, against Hypno from the other generation. With energy, Marowak can turn matchups around. It's very similar to Hunter in that energy storage. It's like a Hunter with energy. It can be deadly. So it works not the same, but in that point
not
of
so deadly.
Yeah,
but deadly.
very deadly. More deadly than deadly. Okay, so Malipi, what's your pick?
Actually, I'm not sure. I'm just thinking.
Pick something different.
No, yeah, for sure.
Go for
but I mean, I have enough counters to Registeel and all that jazz on my team with Lantern and with Scash. Like Lantern is not like a super counter, but it can deal a pretty good damage against it. But in fact, I think I need probably a good grass counter, even though I have Venusaur. But so yeah, I actually don't know what to do here. But I
think you need a Melmetal.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just trying to be realistic and not just only for the stream. I don't have a Melmetal. Like, I don't even have in the Pokédex, so...
What?
Like, I don't really... I wouldn't really pick Melmetal. So I think in here, maybe I would go for probably Marowak, but... I mean, not really, so I don't know. Maybe Raichu. I really don't know. I think the best option for my team... Yeah, I don't have candies.
Okay.
I think the best option for me, in fact, would be drop the Cresselia, pick Bastiodon, and run here Marowak alone. I think that would be the best option for me.
Okay. It makes sense since you have to manage resources here. Okay. So, for the wild card, I have already talked about mine. I will go for Meganium because I need a grass here. I didn't pick any grasses, so I'll go for Meganium. What
did you pick for Johto?
I pick Azumarill.
Oh, so you are without Hunter. I will pick Hunter here for the wild card.
Okay. Malipi, but what could be your wild card?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I think my team is fairly weak. For example, to Swampert.
Okay.
It would only lose to like Venusaur.
Your Venusaur, right?
So technically, I could use another grass, but I don't think that's a good option.
You can run Shiftry.
Oh, I can actually?
Yeah, you can.
Yep.
Yeah, then I guess I could take Shiftry actually.
Double grass. Oh man.
Yeah, double grass, double water, Bastiodon. Wow.
Done. You are done with that.
So none of
sweep.
So none of us picked any flyer. I don't know if
I think that Noctowl will be a very good player.
Yeah.
A very good choice here too. But I don't know.
So just
I actually just
go.
put this on the PvPoke team builder, and it's not that bad, I have to say.
Really?
It's really
What is
good.
the points?
What score?
The
The
points
score,
is
yeah.
613.
Oh.
It's not terrible.
What? It's great.
Yeah, not that bad.
And
600 or 50?
the biggest threat is Zuelius, Umbreon, Venusaur, Tropius. And I'm pretty good versus Zuelius Umbreon with Bastiodon, and like Umbreon loses to Venusaur as well. Tropius gets super walled by Bastiodon, loses to Marowak. This team is actually good, I'm surprised. Okay, not bad.
Okay. So I want before we end the stream, I want to take a look at. So Ricardo participated yesterday in. It's kind of. I think it was from EPL.
Yes.
Okay, it was on one of the. It was a practice Voyager Cup. So it was a 5-way tie. Okay.
Yes. I was almost there.
Okay.
4 wins.
So yeah.
The final one.
But Grotto let you down.
So
no, Grotto helped him.
No, Grotto was the MVP. Don't say that.
So we see.
It was not the MVP, but it was good. The problem was the Noctowl versus Haunter when I face it, but it's life.
So and
oh, look, a seismic toad over there. Nice.
Oh yes. Yeah. So I see here a lot of. So the grass types will be very dominant, as always. We see a lot of Meganims here, a lot of Venusaurs. I see a lot of Venusaurs. Damn it!
A lot of them.
Lot of Venusaurs. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, and Azumarill is everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't see a single lantern. I would have fun with all those Azumarills.
Yeah, there's
where?
There's one, two.
I saw one.
Yeah, it was one participant run lantern too.
Yeah. One rival.
Nice. Oh, a Shadow Blossom. That's amazing.
Well, that could be interesting. A shadow razor leafer, for sure.
That's actually spicy as hell. But like, if you're going for a Shadow Blossom, just go for a Shadow Victory Bell. It does more damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you have them.
Yeah, I don't have any, so.
Yeah, you that's the first. That's a first. You need to have them. Registil. I was expecting to see more Registils, but there are a few. But I was expecting to see more, to be honest.
Go to the rivals, please.
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit on top, just on the rivals. Okay. There's a team that I really enjoyed. Where is it? I think it's that guy with Venusaur, Skarmory, Whiscash, Probopass, Ninetales Alolan, and Raichu Alolan. I really like that team, actually. Okay. Although you lack counter, you could use a Toxic Rogue in there. I think this team is actually really, really good.
Okay.
But you just don't have... I mean, you do with Whiscash, but I don't know. I think you could use a counter user there. But like, my team is even worse. Like, not worst, but my team is even spicier than this one. So who am I to say that this team is weird?
Okay. That's true. Yeah, but of course, so we see very dominant picks here, like Azumarill, Registeel, the pretty most dominant Venusaur, and yeah, the other picks are very questionable, and you can play around that. But these are going to be probably the most common that you will face off.
I just need to say one thing. If you pay close attention, almost in every team, you either have Haunter, or Toxic Rogue, or Venusaur, or a mix of them. And that makes Hypno so good.
Yeah.
So good. you always see a Toxic Rogue or a Venusaur or even both.
Honestly,
Like,
yeah. Honestly,
Hypno is so good.
I was expecting to see more Hypnos.
I faced an Shadow Hypno from
Yeah,
the only guy that brings the beat.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is practice too.
Yeah.
The first picks.
Of course, just
to see the
testing.
map.
Yeah. Just warm up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but don't sleep on it because a lot of people like Venusaur is really good. Don't get me wrong. Toxic Rook and Hunter are also amazing, but Hypno can really ruin their day, like really hard. Especially if you're going with the Shadow, your confusion just annihilates everything.
Yeah. Be careful. Don't sleep on that. So that's it. I think that's all. Thank you very much for having this. I was planning this for 1.5 hours, but we are here for 2 hours and a half.
Oh my god.
Okay, so so I think we
To
have.
be honest, I blame Generation 3. It's not our fault.
Yeah. We talked Generation 3, even if we are not supposed to talk about Generation 3. So yeah, that talk along about that. This cup will be very hard to pick a team, and the most, I mean, the best players will try to build a solid team, but at the same time a different team to play, because this is a meta for regionals too, and you are not going to see a lot of good teams too, at least from the good players, a lot of those teams too early, because they will use them in their regionals, and they want to keep that in secret. So and I see people running so much spice here, just to try to grab those wins. Of course, meta is meta, but be careful. This cup is this cup is. It seems it has the potential to be one of the best for sure. So let's see how it goes for the rest of the April. It's coming soon. So yeah,
we will have 2 weighted cups.
Yeah, we'll have regionals for the ones that have as a regionals. You have two weighted, and people regionals, for the ones that are going to regionals, they are going to build some crazy things around this. I believe so. According to the limit, in the last year there haven't many options, because it's open. It's almost not open, but almost open greatly. You only doesn't have the psychics last year, but you have almost any pick that you can get. So a lot of the teams are the same. You don't have these restrictions, but I think that's a good thing to have these restrictions, because people have to to use their skills in team building to manage a good team. So that's it. I think we are done here. We have a long run here on the most probably the most common picks that you will face in a Voyager Cup. And that's it. I don't know if you guys want to. Hey, Elfin Dollies, thanks for hosting. I don't know if you guys want to say something to close.
Just good luck picking the team. It's not easy to pick from so many choices.
Yeah.
Okay. So many good choices.
Okay.
But let's start practicing.
And I guess what I could say, but I think it's really cool. The thing that I really enjoy about team building is that if you start to see a lot of Venusaur, a lot of Toxic Rogue and Haunter, you'll see a rise in Hypno. Yeah. And if you see a rise in Hypno, then Shifter becomes really good, for example. I just really like this dance that will happen in this cup because you won't be able to cover everything.
Yeah, this is the
You
same
just
dance from
won't.
GBL. In
But this
fact,
is such a beautiful dance that you're gonna do. And like for example, if you have Hypno, like this guy here, the Sunny Raft, Hypno, Azumarill, Swampert, and Meganium, I guess, like the shift tree just works so well, so well. If you can hide your shifter from the Gliscor, you can just deal a lot of damage to this team. And I just really like that. The dance that you can do with the
yeah.
Pokemons here.
That will be
The
very
changes in the
frequent.
meta.
That will be very dependent on the tendencies. Absolutely.
But for example, like if you see the rise of Shiftry, then Toxic Rogue will rise again. So I just really like this. This like this is almost like an habitat and a lot of interactions in the ecosystem. I really like this.
Yeah, that's cool, and that works. This is what a good meta is. You go around and around trying to counter that, counter it, and you are going to try to counter what is more common.
And eventually someone will find an amazing strat and shock the world, and then in the next tournament it's not gonna work because everyone will know the strat.
Yeah, and I think those amazing strats only work one or two times because since they are released to the public, uh, you are going to try to counter it or play with it. So
Like it could work in a small community with people not super dedicated, but we're talking about regionals. Everyone
yeah,
that's going to
of
regionals
course.
is like really it's grinding. The people grind it to get to regionals. So I'm pretty sure they will try. Even the people who didn't grind that hard will do a little bit more studying that they do just because it's regionals. It's like what people aspire to go through the year, I guess.
Yeah. I think this is one of the most common goals for anyone is to win regionals and go for continentals. So yeah, that I think that's it. I think we did a long run here, and I think we have the first notions to start with the cup, and I hope everyone in the chat. I think everyone in the chat enjoyed it, and yeah. I just want to thank you guys for coming and for having me here. Um,
Thank you for the invite.
no,
Thank you
problem.
for having us.
Yeah, no. Yeah, and thank you very much for all the time spent here. It was very fun. We had a long run, so yeah.